Hello and welcome to part 2 of my epic July book haul. So last week I went and spent the week at my parents' house because my husband was away on business, and I accumulated a lot of books. So should we just dive straight into it? So first of all, I went to a Compton Hospice shop in Gornal, and their paperbacks were 6 for £1. So, are these the 6 that I bought first? Yeah, so the first 6 that I bought, I got The Hunger Games, Mockingjay. I haven't read any of the Hunger Games books, but I've been recommended them. I'm trying to put these in order of the ones that I picked up because I really wanted them compared to the ones that I just added into things. So the second one that I picked up was The Psychopath Test. I picked this up because I saw it on Nicole from A Beautiful Chaos of Books. I'll link her channel here. She's talked about this book and really enjoyed it. I then picked up the I can't speak again today. The Bridget Jones Omnibus. This has got Bridget Jones's diary and also The Edge of Reason. I've seen the films, but I've never read the book. I then picked up Maggie O'Farrell's Instructions for a Heat Wave, and then I had to find 2 more that I wanted, and so I picked up The Bone Season, as it just looked quite interesting to me. That is by Samantha Shannon. I've not heard anything about her. And then I picked up Shakespeare's Wife by Germaine Greer, and like I say, they were 6 for £1. So I got all 6 of those for £1. I've said that too many times, haven't I? We then went to Bridgnorth, and I didn't pick up much because I've got into a bit of a habit where I kind of set my limit for a second-hand book at £1, and everything there was more than that. However, I did pick up this one. This was £1.29, and it's A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to Chemo. As you can see, I'm about halfway through this at the moment. I like to pick up stories from a patient's point of view. I think that's obviously because I'm doing my nurse training, and I like to read patient perspectives on things. We then went to Stourbridge, and the first thing I picked up was Harry Potter. I have never read the Harry Potter books, and I know, shock horror, I'm 29 and I haven't read them. And I just thought this was a beautiful cover, so I'm going to try and collect the series of these, and that was £1 from the Cats Protection Shop. I then went into British Heart Foundation, and the British Heart Foundation in Stourbridge had a sale on their books. I've never known the British Heart Foundation anywhere have a sale, so a lot of the books were half price. I picked up Skellig, which is a book that I read as a child, and me and my friend were talking about this on Facebook not long ago, saying, you know, I'm sure she put a status about if anybody remembered that weird book, and I've reread it, and it is just as strange as I remember it, and I paid 75p for that. I then picked up Laura Dockrell's Big Bones. I think this is an arc, and again, I've already read this one, so you'll be finding out what I thought about that in my July wrap-up later in the month. I then popped into, I think it's Mary Stevens Hospice Shop, and upstairs they've got a whole book place, and their books were £1.50 each, but they were on 3 for 2, and I didn't realise they were closing, but the man was really sweet and let me pick out some books. So I found Emma Donohue's The Wonder, Sally Rooney's Conversations with Friends, which I've heard a lot about, and a book that I've been looking out for, but I've only ever found really dog-eared copies before, and that's Sue Townsend's The Woman Who Went to Bed for a Year. I mean, that sounds like a perfect life to me, if I'm honest. And then the last thing that I bought in Stourbridge was Letters to the Lost by Bridget Camara. Again, this copy is absolutely perfect, and I've seen this one a lot on BookTube, so I thought I had to have that. My next stop was Dudley Town Centre, and I actually got quite a lot of clothes from there, not so many books, but I did pick up 5, so you know, still quite a haul. Firstly, I went to the Salvation Army shop, and all their paperbacks were 50p, and I got Some Kind of Wonderful by Giovanna Fletcher. I've never read a Giovanna Fletcher book and people keep recommending them to me, so I got that. I also picked up Debbie McComber, No Place Like Home. I said in my last haul, my tastes are so eclectic that I have been picking things up here, there and everywhere, and just I've got so many thrillers now. I'm trying to balance it out with a few more kind of easy reads for the summer. I then went to the Acorns Children's Hospice shop and I picked up The Hunger Games for £1. I picked up Jenny Colgan's Christmas at Rosie Hopkins' Sweet Shop for £1, and also Pet Sematary for £1. If you saw my last haul, which will be linked in the cards, I picked up The Shining last time, also in this cover. My next two books are not paperbacks. Firstly, I got this massive, this was 75p from the Cancer Research Shop, and it's a photographer with all pictures of abandoned asylums, and I just thought some of the pictures were quite haunting and beautiful, so all my family have had a good look through that one. I then went into, I think it's a YMCA shop. If you know Dudley, it's just open in the Churchill precinct where Bright Home used to be. In fact, I almost walked straight past it because all the Bright Home signage was still outside, but as I glanced in I thought, that looks like a charity shop. So in there for £1 I picked up Kirsty's Vintage Home. I'm saving for a house at the moment and I cannot wait to be able to decorate it myself, and I love all the vintage style. But one thing I didn't notice till I got home is that it's actually been signed by Kirsty. So whoever Maria is, thank you for donating this one. Whew. Anyway, last but not least, just before I came back to Leicester, my mum said to me, do you want to pop back down to the Compton Hospice shop where the books were 6 for £1? And I said yes, go on then, we'll see what they've got. And obviously I picked up 6 more books. So I got Jill Mansell's You and Me Always. Jill Mansell again is not an artist, not an author that I've read before. I picked up The Happiness Hypothesis by Jonathan Haidt. I don't know why I try and pronounce some of these authors' names because I never get it right. I picked up The Note by Zoe Folbig, which has been on my TBR for a while anyway. Amazon keeps recommending it to me and it looked good. I picked up 100 Pieces of Me by Lucy Dillon. Again, Lucy Dillon is not an author I've read. Can you see a theme here? I'm trying to discover new authors. I picked up The Butlins Girls by Elaine Everest. And then lastly, I picked up Geek Girl by Holly Smale, maybe? I'm not sure what I'm going to think of this one, but I'd got 5 and I just had to get another one. I think I need a cup of tea after that. So that is all the books that I have bought so far this month. This is part 2. There will be a part 3. But then from next month, I'm going to try and cut back a little bit and just do a monthly book haul at the end of each month. If you like the video, please give it a like and subscribe down below. I try and make videos every Wednesday and Sunday. Bye!